Hello everyone, I'm Iman. In this video, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to push a project from desktop to your GitHub repository and 3 different ways to update your code if it's already on GitHub. First, what is GitHub used for? GitHub is a platform for hosting code that allows for version control and collaboration. When you push your code to GitHub, anyone with the URL can see your code. They can also alter and even improve code if you allow them. If you search GitHub and go to its URL, if you don't have an account on GitHub, you can sign up, else you can just sign in. And this is our dashboard. We can search our repos from here, and if we go to profile page, you can see them here also. If I say the word repo or repos, it means repository. You can create your repository by going to repositories and by clicking new. Let's give a name to it, e.booking frontend. If you plan on sharing your project with the world, make sure you leave it as public and click on Create Repository. Once you create your repo, you will see a quick start guide on how to commit. A commit records changes to one or more files in your branch. Before we can get started, we will need to download Git locally in order to push files to GitHub. Git is a version control system used for tracking changes in computer files. It is generally used for source code management in software development. If you go to Google and search Git and go to its URL and select the downloader for your machine, I will be using Windows. If we click on it, we are directed to another page. If we click on this link, it will install it for Windows. I have already downloaded it. If you don't know where it is downloaded, you can click on these 3 dots and go to download. And for the download for the Git, there will be a folder icon. And if you click on this folder icon, it will direct you to where exactly our Git is installed. I have already installed and set up this. If you click on this and follow default settings, it's going to install for your device. Once it's installed, open up Visual Studio Code's sidebar and click on Open Folder button and open up the project you want to push to your GitHub. We have built this project in the previous videos. You can check it out. Open up the terminal. The shortcut key is Ctrl+Shift+backtick. So this is our terminal from where we can do many things. If you already had your terminal open, you may need to close and reopen to get the updates. Let's do a quick search on our computer to check the version of Git we have installed. Go ahead and type git --version. So this is our Git version that we have installed. Now that our Git is installed, let's cd into our project, cd booking, and initialize a local repo, git init. When we run git init, a new folder will be added to our project files. These files' visibility are set to hidden by default, so you will not see them, but rest assured they are there. If you want to see these files, open up your project folder and select View and check on the hidden items. Our Git folder is here. This step is not necessary before we add our files, but for the sake of seeing the difference and showing exactly what happens, let's run git status. There is no commit yet. Now to add a particular file or folder to our staging area, we can run git add. The staging area is a file generally contained in your Git directory that stores information about what will go into your next commit. In our case, we want to add all the files highlighted in red, so let's run git add. In case you can't see it, there is a period after add indicating we want all the files highlighted in red. Let's run git status again to ensure all changes we made. What if we make changes in code after adding running git add? No worries, just run git add again and changes will be modified. Now that we added files to our staging area, we need to commit them to our local repository. Git commit -m and let's write a message first commit and hit enter. All the files are set locally. We are ready to push them to our remote repository. We set the remote so when we run git push, Git knows which remote repo to send these files to. Git remote add origin, and after that we will have a repo URL. Let's fetch this URL from our repo like this. Now that we have our remote set, we can push our local GitHub repo live. Git push -u origin master. We have misspelled origin, so let's write it again. Git push -u origin master. The default branch on GitHub is called master unless you set your own. When you first create a repository on GitHub, you will see steps to rename this branch to main. If you decided to rename the default branch, then use that name instead of master. Now if you refresh your repository on github.com, you should see all your local files here. If you push your code to GitHub 2 or 3 times, then it will become much easier for you to do it again. So we have all the files here. Now what if you don't want to add a particular file or folder in here? What you will do is add a git ignore file in your code and write in the file or folder name you want to ignore. If you want to clone a repo, mean you want a specific code or project from GitHub to your desktop, you can simply copy the URL of the repo and direct to the folder where you want to clone it and simply run git clone and the URL of the repo and it will clone in your folder. Make changes and let's remove this part. Save it. If you save and go to source control, stage all changes by clicking on plus icon. Now that it will turn into minus, first we write a message, make sure it's meaningful. Let's say change in text. Then in this drop down icon, click on commit and push. Now it will push all commits to our repository. If we go to our repo, so this is our latest commit. If we click on this, the code highlighted in red is what we removed from our code and the green highlighted code is what we added or changed. If you see here, +2 means we added 2 words in here make changes and -4 we removed these 4 words from our paragraph. The second way is if you go into same hero.jsx file and make some changes, it will say code view is read only. Switch to editor. If we go in here and you can make any changes you want here. But make sure you're the owner of the repository that you are making changes into, else if you want to change someone's repository, you have to fork it, meaning you have to clone it in your desktop and then make changes to it. Okay, now that we removed that text, if we click on commit changes, let's say correct heading and commit changes. So if we go in here, update hero.jsx, as you can see, our changes are made. The third way is, let's Ctrl C in here and save and go into booking folder, cd booking, and in here if we say git add dot and hit enter, if you didn't add your name or email to Git, it will tell you to add them for the first time. Make sure you add them in your terminal like the example it will give you. Next what we'll do is git commit and hit enter. The file will be opened. Let's add a message. Make sure it's meaningful so that you can remember it later when you try to find where you made that change. Let's say undo paragraph. If you save, then close the file. As you can see, it will commit our changes. Now if we run git push and hit enter, so it's giving us a warning. Let's say git pull. As you can see, now it's saying waiting for editor to close the file. Let's close it. Like this, now our changes are made. Now let's see on GitHub. If we refresh the page, update hero.jsx, let's see. No, it isn't changing. Like this and save. And in our terminal, let's say git add and git commit and git push. Now let's see in our repository. Let's refresh it, and if we click on this, let's try to make some more changes to understand better. Let's say in here in London like this and add some more text. Let's save it, and in our terminal git add git commit. Okay, now let's add a commit. Let's say just testing. Save the file and close it. Okay, and if we do git push, let's go back to repository. Okay, so our just testing is here. This is our latest commit. If we click on this, as you can see, the changes we made are here. Now let's undo it. Ctrl C, like this, save it. For the last time, let's do it again. Git add git commit, undo previous changes. Let's save it and close the file, and let's run git push. Okay, so let's go back and check. Undo previous changes. If we click on it, as you can see, we have removed this, and now this is our text. So that's it for today's video. If you like this video, click on the like button, comment, share and subscribe to UI Universe. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.